We are Cactus Wrestling. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos.
Welcome back to Cactus Wrestling. So today since the regular season's over, I did some little research and I compiled some stats. And we're going to talk about the NCAA wrestling allocations per conference. But I wanted to also report the findings from the stats that I have come up with. So, Mike, let me ask you, how many matches do you think that the average number one ranked wrestler in all 10 weight classes has on the season?
Well, how many of them? How many of the number one ranked guys are from Penn State? Because they all have like 12, and then I feel like everyone else has more like 20 something. I'm gonna go with the average is probably like 17.
Oh, you're spot on. 17 is
Yeah.
the answer. Now, how many average matches do you think the number 33 ranked wrestler? And by the way, I used intermat rankings.
The average 33 ranked guy, probably more like 23.
Oh my God, 23.1. Yeah, you're spot on.
Oh,
Wow. I'm impressed.
I'm
Now,
impressed.
how many average matches? Let's see if you can run the table. How many average matches do you think that Penn State and Iowa wrestlers have? They both have, when you round to the nearest whole number, they both have the
Oh,
same.
you add up there too, and then okay.
Yeah, and for Iowa's sake, I averaged Keeter and Bradley Hill. I averaged Gabe Arnold and Aiden Riggins.
Um, Gabe Arnold had like 4 matches.
Well, he had a few more, I think.
Okay, so the average number of matches there, 16.
Ooh, 15. Very close.
I almost said 15. I was thinking
15.
18 for the Iowa guys and 12 for but then I was like 15. No, it's probably a little bit more than that, but
15. So now that's less than the average number one, even though half of the number ones are Penn State. But
yeah.
now I was like, all right, well that's pretty low. Maybe it's a Big Ten thing. So I did Ohio State. What's the average number of matches for Ohio State starters? And by the way, this is just starters.
25.
No, 21. 21.
Yeah.
I also did average matches for Binghamton. And I did Binghamton because Binghamton has 5 ranked wrestlers. There may be a top 30 team. So there's much disparity between Iowa, Penn State, which are like the top 2 teams. Ohio State is like maybe a top 10 team. And then Binghamton's like a top 30 team. So how many average matches do you think the Binghamton starters have?
24.
25. 25.
Ah,
So you can kind of start seeing a trend. So I'm going to share my screen now, and there's a chart that actually kind of goes into this, and it's very telling of something here. Okay, so here is my little chart. And so as you can see, I took all 10 weight classes and I did how many matches each guy had. These are based on the latest intermat rankings. So you can see
for all like the top 33.
top 33 of every weight. Yep. So
Okay.
this is 330 wrestlers. Average the number of matches for each ranking right here. So all the way from 1 to 33. So 1 was 17, 33 was 23.1. I put it in this little graph right here. And as you can see, it definitely trends upwards as we go higher up the rank. The lower rank, or I guess the higher rank you are, number 1 ranking,
Yeah.
the less number of matches you have. Whereas all these guys who are ranked in the 25 to 33, 22, 23, 22, 25, 24, 23, these are mid 20s, 24. There's obviously a couple of outliers, 15.6 for like the 15 seed, 18.1 for the 22 seeds. But if you look at the top five, number one, 17, number two, 19, 19, 16. That's significantly lower than the high 20s. So
Right.
it just, like I want to bring this up because I feel like there's something broken in our current ranking system where obviously this is not incentivizing guys to actually wrestle matches. It's like, why would I wrestle more matches when the more matches I wrestle, the higher likelihood that I'm going to have a lower ranking at the end of the year.
Well, does the ranking ultimately affect their seeding?
Well, like, I mean, right here, you look at, this is the coaches ranking. And it's a
Yeah.
little bit different than Intermet, but typically Intermet's pretty close to what that is. And so we won't have the final seedings until we have the conference tournament. But this goes into postseason seedings, like for the Big Ten, like conference seedings.
Right, right, yeah. Well, that's true.
So I don't know. I just think it's like why wrestle a lot of matches? And that's like when we posted our most recent video about grading the season, a lot of people in the comments were like, no one's wrestling matches. That was the biggest low light. And then when you kind of put it this way, it's kind of showing it's like, yeah, like why would I wrestle matches when it doesn't benefit me at all?
Right. Well, I mean, you remember earlier in the season with when Marcus Blaze beat Ramos and then Braden Palmer beat Marcus Blaze. Braden Palmer commented like, "There's not really much of an incentive for me to wrestle a high schooler because if I lose, it makes me look bad. If I win, I'm expected to win. If I get injured, that's not good. Like, there's not really any benefit to wrestling the match for me. So I feel like that kind of is along similar lines, like where they're almost protecting themselves, trying
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. And so I highlighted the number of guys who have 30 plus matches. And as you can see, aside from Ty Gadiali, who's ranked number 9 at heavyweight, there's no wrestler in the top 16 of any weight class who has 30 or more matches.
Really? Wow.
It's like why would I? And so at this point in the season, let's say you're in a big conference like EIWA or Big Tens. You have to win 3 to 4 matches to win your conference, and then 5 matches to win NCAAs. So
Yeah.
you have maybe 9 matches left on the season. So some of these guys have the potential to get up to 40 matches. But some of these
Yeah.
other guys, the higher ranked guys who will probably, like Carter Sirachi, he'll just be at 20 for the entire season.
Right. Yeah.
He'll
And
be
then
at 12. He'll be at
Kale
21.
Sanderson had 40 a year. Like,
Yeah, they're wrestling half as many times. I mean, it's insane. So I feel like there should be some sort of incentive to these guys with 30 matches. Like Ty Gadiali, I think his record is 30-3. He has 30 wins on the season, and yet he's number 9.
impressive. Right.
There's a lot of disparity. Like for right here, this guy 6-0. This is Brayton Lee. He's undefeated, 6-0. Why is he only the 15 seed when you have Austin Gomez, who's 7-1? He's a number 8 seed. He's number 4. Right?
Oh, right. Yeah.
This is Colton Schultz. He has a loss on the season, only 8 matches. Why is he number 4? And yet undefeated Brayton Lee is all the way down here. Like, there's got to be more consistency, I think.
Right.
And
Yeah. I
I
don't know
think,
the formulas that they use to make these rankings because
Well, this is the question that I want to pose to the commenters. Do you think that rankings, like in-season rankings, are actually harmful for wrestling in general? Like, should we even have them in season? Because right now it's like guys don't see any benefit to wrestling anyone good.
Well, unless you're a low guy wrestling a higher rank guy,
Yeah,
because
but
then you knock off the higher rank guy, and that helps your rank. And it's also quality of win because it goes into the RPI. But
yeah.
then again, they're playing less matches, so it's harder to get those quality wins because you're not even getting a crack at the guy. Not saying you're definitely going to win if you wrestle the guy with a quality,
Well,
but
we'll get to the allocations in a second and go over the formula that they use because they use win percentage. And I think that's very misleading. I feel like it
well,
should be
it's not just win percentage.
that's a part of it though.
Yeah, that is a part of it. But yeah,
So just to round out, number of wrestlers with 20 or more matches per weight class. So out of all weight classes, there are an average of 21 wrestlers per weight that have 20 or more matches. That's 65% of the ranked wrestlers have 20 or more matches.
wow, okay.
And yet Penn State has zero of those.
Yeah,
All of their guys over here have less than 20 matches.
right. 18, 19 of the yeah.
And this is number of top 10 guys with less than 20 matches. Average per weight is 4. So that's about 41 wrestlers have in the top
Wow.
10 have less than 20 matches. Like we're talking about growing the sport. This is not good for growing the sport when 40% of the top 10 guys wrestle less than 20 matches.
Yeah, because those are the guys that everyone wants to see wrestle, and they're not wrestling. So that is an issue.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it in some of the comments in our grading video. Like their biggest, it's like I traveled all this way to watch this match, and then none of the guys that I wanted to watch wrestled. Like, what was the point of going to the match?
Yeah. So, and then over here, so this is average number of matches per weight class. So it's pretty consistent. The lowest is 174 at 19, and the highest is 165 at 23. So it's a pretty big difference, 4 matches, but all of them are between 19 and 23. Obviously the number one guy right here, 35 at 197, number 30. I don't remember who that is off the top of my head. This is based on Intermat rankings.
Mhm.
But let's look at the allocations. So I believe they have didn't they put the formula in here?
So I know it's
Oh yeah, here it is.
yeah, win percentage, opponents win percentage, opponents of opponents win percentage.
Well, that's for the RPI, right?
Yeah.
And this is where I don't get it. Pre-allocations were determined by using a sliding scale of the 3 standards: win percentage, coaches ranking, and RPI ranking. We'll never going below the base 700 winning percentage, top 30 ranking, and top 30 ranking until reaching a maximum of 29 per weight class. So
Yeah.
like if we're using win percentage and you're 11-0, obviously that's 100%. You're going to get a huge boost. That's going to give you a spot.
Oh, yeah, there probably should be a minimum number of matches
Yeah,
to
that's what.
qualify the win percentage. Like, I feel like it should be over 10.
Well, I mean, everyone has over 10. I didn't do
That's
single
not.
digit, but
Well, I mean,
there's
if
not
it's
too
even just
many.
10, there's some guys that wouldn't be in it.
I mean, we could probably do it pretty quick. Under 10. Under 10 right here. There's probably more who have over 30 than have less than
Under 10, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. Four guys have less than 10 matches.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I feel like you definitely should have more than 10, maybe even 15.
Well, how do they do it in the state of Connecticut for seeding? I know that's a state tournament, but I feel like their system is at least a little bit fairer. It rewards wrestling matches.
So, well, yeah, because it uses flow to track your wins, So like when you beat someone, like your win percentage gives you like a base points, and then they factor in your strength of schedule. So if you beat someone that's really bad, like they have like one win on the season, you earn like point 0.1 for beating that guy. But then if you beat someone that's like really good, you might get like 2.2 points or 1.5 points. So you'd have to beat 15 of like the really bad guy or this guy once, and that gets tacked on. And then so like that benefits you for beating the better guys because you get solid points for those wins. And obviously, if you have more matches, like if you're 30-3 and 20 of those are against like kind of crummier guys, you might only be getting like a total of, 5 or 10 points from that. But then if you have 10 quality wins where you get a point for each one, that's 10 points right there from less wins. So
But isn't there a bonus if you get like over X amount of wins?
no, that was the old system. The old system was if you had over 18, you got like a bonus 2 points. If you had over 28 wins, you got a bonus 2 points. But now they just did the flow thing with the strength of schedule to do it.
Hmm. I kind of like that old system though. It at least rewards you for wrestling.
Well,
A lot.
it does reward you because like the more legitimate wins you get points for that if as long as that guy has won a match. If
Right.
the guy's 0 and whatever has 0 wins, it's the same as getting a forfeit. But if the guy has any wins, you get point something if he's bad, and if he's good, it'll probably be over a point or maybe even over 2 points.
I feel like they should use for the RPI instead of opponent's win-loss percentage, there should be some sort of formula to calculate like quality number of wins.
Well, that's what they're trying to accomplish with that.
Yeah.
The opponent and the opponent's opponents.
Because right now it seems like you get really hurt for any loss you take because it's win-loss percentage. It's just win-loss percentage. So the
Yeah,
more you wrestle, the more likelihood you have to lose a match.
yeah, that's true.
Why would you want to wrestle a bunch of matches?
Hey, if Gadiali had ducked those 3 matches, he'd be undefeated.
Well, if you can go, 11-0 like Carter, that's 100%. I'm going to qualify my spot, no problem. I'm going to get my 100%. I'm going to be ranked number one. Why would I need to wrestle anymore?
Yeah.
I mean, they're smart. They're. I think they've
Well,
hacked the system.
they still got to get it done. We don't know that it's necessarily a hack until they've officially
Yeah, but
gotten it.
they have the benefit by having the higher seed.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah.
Like
Well,
obviously,
Carter might not get the higher seed because he might uh have to take the 0 for 2 or the 0 for 1 at the
well, yeah, that's probably definitely going to happen.
because of the injury.
But I mean, let's take a look at these allocations. I feel like at first glance, I think the ACC kind of got screwed.
I mean, the ACC is only 6 teams, soon to be 7 with Stanford. Um,
I
I mean,
know
I don't know what
28.
I
That
don't know what
seems
they got
low.
last year, but then again, if you do look at it, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Half the weights are only getting 2 guys.
Yeah, that's
And you got to make the
uncharacteristic
finals for half the weights.
for
I feel like
ACC.
in years past they've gotten more, and I've been like, why is the ACC getting so many? Because there's only 6 teams. But then again, if you think of the quality of the teams that they have, it is a bit higher. I mean, they really should combine the SoCon with the ACC.
Yeah.
Cause like you look at the SoCon, there's only like 3 or 4 weights that have more than one allocation. It's no, it's 3 weights. Yeah. 7 out of 10 in the SoCon are one guy makes it.
Mm.
Why have a whole conference for that?
Yeah.
That means there's no depth in the SoCon. Like merge it, make it the Southern Atlantic Coast Conference. Like
I think yeah, like 141 in particular at ACC, you have I think 4 top 20 guys at this weight class. Like
you
Ryan
got
Jack,
McNeil, yeah,
Hawk
McNeil,
McNeil, Tom Crook, and Cole Matthews.
yeah. Oh, one of them's not making it.
Well,
Oh,
so and that's what doesn't make sense. I'm sure Cole Matthews didn't qualify a spot because of his win-loss percentage. He has like
oh,
8
lost.
losses on the season.
Right.
He should be the number one seed though because he's beaten all three of those guys in the year.
Right. Yeah, that's a little trippy. Well,
Um,
actually, I mean, if you look at the weights that have 29, that means those are the deepest weights,
right.
which is, I mean, one, two, three, four of them.
I
Four of
mean,
them have 29. No, five.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, what do you think of the allocation system in general? I have mixed feelings about it. I mean, we see it every year where guys do what Carter might do in the sense of he weighs in, he raises his hand, and he goes 0 and 2, and then he has a high enough ranking to get an at large. But in my opinion, that's just stealing a spot from someone else who could have placed. Well, I guess by
No, it's stealing an at-large bid from someone that, and someone that might not have placed is placing. So
yeah, that's true. That's true.
yeah, I mean, it allows for an injured guy to potentially get himself right for the tournament, and
Right.
didn't work in Suriano's case, but
I feel like the formula is a little bit off when we're just looking at this rankings. I feel like wins percentage is just too. There should be like win percentage and then like number of wins or something. Throw that in there.
I mean, if it's win percentage, is there a minimum number of matches?
Uh,
Because if I'm 1-0, my win percentage is 100. If you're 30-0, your win percentage is 100. Those are not the same.
that's what I'm saying. It's like, why would I ever want to wrestle 30
That's the thing.
minutes?
I don't. It's a little unclear if they have a minimum number of matches for the win percentage to be calculated. I know it says 700 like there for the winning percentage, but if they had like a minimum number of matches of like you have to have at least 15 or you have to have at least 12 or 10 or whatever, it forces guys to get those matches to make sure that they have this so that they can get the spot allocated.
Yeah. Well, I know RPI, in order to qualify for that, you have to have, I think, 12 matches. But
Yeah.
I just think that number needs to be increased.
I mean, yeah, it's what everyone wants to see.
Except for the
More
wrestlers and the coaches, because clearly this graph shows that you do not need to wrestle a lot of matches in order to be a high rank or high seed.
I mean, it's not crazy difference between 33 and 1. It's only 6 match difference.
Matches, that's 33% of
Yeah,
this guy's
percentage wise,
season.
yeah, if you hit it like that, that's
I
true.
wrestled 66% of the season as another guy. That's a
Yeah,
lot.
that's true. That's true. That's fair. But
So I don't think like I don't know.
how
At
about
first glance, ACC seems a little bit low. Big Ten, I mean,
Big
they
Ten always has the most.
yeah, like this weight's funny. Only 3 guys aren't going to qualify.
Yeah. What's it called? EIWA. I mean, this is going to be interesting because this is the last year that they got the Ivy League. So this number right now is at 53, but that's going to probably tank. I don't
Yeah.
know how significantly, but it's probably going to tank.
Well, check out our Ivy League video. We kind of did a number breakdown on how many allocations the Ivy League schools got last year. I want to say they got like 40% of the
They
EI.
got a lot.
Yeah.
They're a lot of them are the better schools in that conference. I can't believe the SoCon literally almost getting the bare minimum.
And how many
Like,
schools are in the SoCon? I think there's like 8 or 10 or something.
there's at least somewhere around there, 8 or 10.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, none of them are like the powerhouse schools. I mean, App State's usually like the best school in that conference.
Yeah.
EMI doesn't really usually send anybody. It's Presbyterian. Oh, Campbell's actually probably going to win it this year.
Appalachian State, I think.
Yeah, that's what I just said with App State.
Oh, yeah.
Campbell is probably the best team in the conference. They're probably what's elevating them a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Big 12 has the second most number of allocations. I think that's probably accurate, even though EIWA has 16 or 17, I think, 17 schools. Big 12, I don't.
You're not as good to school. Just because you got more schools doesn't mean they're all good. Like,
No, I know, but it just shows how much tougher the Big 12 is. They have less schools and more allocations.
yeah, I mean, they got 5 to 6 per weight. So,
Right. So let us know your thoughts down below in terms of the ranking system, number of matches in a season, coaches' rankings. And I'm really interested to see your guys' thoughts on should there even be in-season rankings? Like, does that actually help people? I think from a fan's perspective, it's cool to be like, oh, shoot, the number one guy went down. But
well, I mean, yeah, you watch 25. There's a new number one every week. So
yeah, so it's like, what does that mean? It's just like Jacob Camacho was the number one guy, and then he loses 3 matches in one day. So if you were the first guy to beat him, then your quality win is higher than if a guy beats him later in the
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I don't know how it works. It's crazy.
yeah, it's hard to figure.
But we're excited. Be sure to be on the lookout. We're gonna do a Big 10, Big 12, ACC, EIWA. I don't know. Do you want to do the other 3 conferences previews?
MAC, PAC, SoCon.
We can maybe do PAC, SoCon, and MAC in one video.
Yeah, the MAC, PAC, SoCon preview.
We don't want to, discriminate, but I mean, these schools have a lot less. ACC though is pretty weak. I mean, I know it's only 6 schools, but there's a lot of good wrestlers.
When we do the preview, we'll be able to see if they got hosed on the allocations when we're actually like looking at the roster of guys that are getting snubbed.
Yeah, I think the pre-seeds come out Monday, so we'll try and get those out Tuesday or Wednesday, the preview videos before the tournament. So be on the lookout for that. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts about the rankings, the number of matches. I mean, Penn State and Iowa, 15 matches average.
Yeah.
Number one's 17. 4% of ranked wrestlers have 30 matches or more at this point in the season.
That's wild.
I don't know. Let us know down below, and thanks for watching Cactus Wrestling.
Thanks for watching. We are Cactus Wrestling, and we'll see you next time on our next video.